Hi students, Suzanne Sweezy here with SoCal Educational Evaluations in California. I'm the author of the Test Anxiety Tactics Workbook available on Amazon, and also the course that goes along with the workbook is available on my website, SoCal Educational Evaluations. In today's video, I'm going to talk about some myths related to test anxiety, so that way you can learn a little bit more about if you have test anxiety and some myths that go along with it, so that way you can feel better about test anxiety. But it is good to get help if it's impacting your ability to perform on exams. So the first myth that I want to debunk for you is that if I have test anxiety, I must not be smart. Okay, so this is a myth because test anxiety impacts people of all cognitive and academic skills. Tests are a very stressful thing for a lot of people. Whether you feel like you're a good student that's well prepared for tests, or maybe a not so good student that hasn't studied or prepared, it may be because you've had test anxiety, so you've avoided studying, and then that test is going to be even more challenging for you. So test anxiety has nothing to do with intelligence. It just has to do with our emotions, our behaviors, and you are smart. You might just have test anxiety. Another myth might be that test anxiety just means I'm a dramatic person, okay? Or maybe your parents said, you're being dramatic, there's no such thing as test anxiety. That's ridiculous. It's not ridiculous to get anxiety about different things. So I have anxiety about driving, and particularly about driving trailers. I don't know if you've ever driven a trailer like a boat, RV, but sometimes with my family, I do boating, and sometimes my husband's at work, and then I have to drive the trailer to get my kids' little sailboat things to the location, and I get a lot of anxiety. And I'm somebody that's kind of already an anxious driver. Like, I'm a little bit prone to anxiety, especially with driving. So then driving like a trailer is just, puts my anxiety up to here. So when I'm driving with a trailer, I have to listen to calming music. I have to do some breathing. I stop and check on the trailer a few times, and that's okay. I get through it. I deal with my anxiety and I get from point A to point B. But it doesn't mean I'm a dramatic person. It means that for some people, there's certain things that make them more anxious than other things. And if you have test anxiety, then you want to perform well on tests, but that idea of that test is just, it creates those emotions because of your thinking patterns, your stress level, the pressure you're putting on yourself. And I go over all of those things in my course, but just because you have test anxiety does not mean that you're dramatic. It means that you have a real disability that impacts one specific area of your life, taking tests. Another myth may be that if I study enough, I'm not going to have test anxiety. And that may make you feel more confident and go into tests better prepared, which is great. But if you're somebody that does have test anxiety, overstudying may not help you actually reduce that test anxiety. What may help you is learning strategies and skills for calming your mind, calming your brain, calming your body when you're studying, and then practicing them, and then going into that exam knowing those skills and strategies, so that way you're not only prepared with the information, but you're prepared with how to cope with those mental distractions and things that are going to create the test anxiety. And then a final myth might be that you can deal with test anxiety without any help or support. That's a myth because unless you're studying psychology like I did, you may not know about mental health. You may not know about coping strategies yet, or how to decrease your overall stress level that's going to contribute to that test anxiety. And then things you can do in your daily life every day as you're studying, strategies for studying that are going to help decrease the test anxiety and your overall mental health well-being. You may not know these things yet. So that's why going to a qualified professional, a therapist, maybe your test anxiety, the root of it is like pressure from your parents. That may be something that you need to talk to a professional about. As I discussed at the beginning of this video, I made a workbook because I found that a lot of students, even though they have free counseling services at their colleges, when I was testing them, they don't utilize the services. They don't go for the help. They don't want to talk to somebody. Maybe they feel embarrassed or they have a stigma about mental health. So I created something. It's up to the student and individual how much you want to overcome your test anxiety. Mental health professional would be my number one choice. If you feel like you don't have time or money, or you don't want to have to talk to somebody in person about your test anxiety, you can take this video course or buy the workbook, go through it all, practice the skills and strategies that I review in the course. And the course just goes through the whole workbook. So you can buy the workbook separately and do it on your own. It is definitely the cheapest expense. It's like $25 on Amazon. Or if you feel like you would like to hear my voice, go through that whole workbook, teach you the skills and strategies for overcoming test anxiety, then it's available on my website beginning August 2025. And you can target your test anxiety, and hopefully it'll help you not only with that big exam coming up, but with other areas of stress and pressure that you're going to experience in your adult life. Speaking from experience, I've been a school psychologist for 18 years and now a licensed educational psychologist, and work is stressful. There's bosses, there's pressures, there's deadlines, and learning those skills for test anxiety can really apply to other areas of your life going forward and when you have stressful things come up in your professional life and career. Okay, so again, my name is Suzanne Sweezy. I'm a licensed educational psychologist with SoCal Educational Evaluations, and I hope you learned something that can help you move forward with your test anxiety today. Thanks for watching and take care.
This video is for informational and educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional mental health or medical advice. Use of this video does not establish a therapeutic relationship. Please seek support from a licensed provider if you are experiencing significant emotional or psychological distress.